Hello, spooky friends, and welcome to another episode of Storytime with the Scary-ish podcast.
Woo!
I'm Robin Grace, and this is Adam Diaz, and
Hello.
These episodes are for us to read the homegrown horrors that you folks have sent to us, and we get to share with all the spooky friends.
Indeed. If you're wondering what is a homegrown horror, it's a story that you have submitted to us, something that's either happened to you, a family member, a friend, a loved one, that you would like to relate to us. It can be paranormal, true crime, spooky, spiritual. And a lot of times we get ones that are absolutely coincidental, but at the time, you were scared poopless, and it's pretty funny. So if you have a story like that you would like to share, Robin, where can they send them to?
You can send them to storytime@scarish.com, and you can send us to our Facebook, Twitter, all that fun stuff, and our website, scarish.com. There's a contact us page. You can go to that, fill it in, it'll send stuff to us that way.
Indeed. So we are hoping to hear from you. We are starting to get more in, which is always nice to see, and I figured it's because creepy things are happening during quarantine, or people are like, oh, I finally have the time to sit down and write my story. Either way, please sit down and write your story and send it to us. We are always looking to share. And on top of that, we've been getting a lot lately that just start out right at the top or in the subject line, you can share this on the podcast, because sometimes folks do want us to just engage with them and not share it to the entire group. And we are absolutely A-okay to do that as well. So, do you want to get started, or do you want me to go with my first one?
You can start.
Okay, so I'm going to jump into our first story of the evening. And this one's subject is story time, which is good. It knows exactly where it's supposed to be.
Straight up.
Yeah, starts out like this. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello. I've been listening to the podcast for a while, and I'd like to share a story with you guys. It'd be really cool if my story was shown on the podcast for people to know to not be stupid like me. Anyways, to the story. This happened to me a few months ago, and it's not a paranormal story, but it was a very scary experience and very real. So my dumb butt was walking home from my school because I live right behind it. While leaving, I thought to take the long way because I was simping. In parentheses it says, it's like emo and sad and stuff, I think. But it was after band practice on Monday, so I got off at 8. I was walking...
Band practice, emo,
right.
What? They go hand in hand. In my opinion, I don't know. Like, growing up for me, a lot of the emo kids were in band.
I'm looking back and I'm trying to think of all the emo kids and whether or not they were in band. I think most of them were in bands. I don't know if they were technically in band in school, though.
For me, a lot of them were in the schools. We had a jazz band, we had an orchestral band, and I think we just had, like, the regular, band that you have that just plays with the choir and stuff like that.
Weren't you like the queen of emo back in the day?
No. I was such a fucking stupid poser bullshit.
Oh, you were a hipster?
God.
You had your MCR armband? Is that what you had?
Oh, God. Yes, I did.
I called it. Okay. That's because she's told me that story a bunch of times before. All right. This person's off at 8 o'clock. They're walking home simping. And now we all know what that is. I was walking, and I thought, this is how in horror movies girls would get stalked and then killed in their homes. Yeah.
I could see that.
As I thought that, I saw some sketchy guy around the corner. I thought he was going to keep walking straight to the bus stop or go to the gasoline store. I've never heard it called a gasoline store before. That was a few blocks away.
What do you
not
call
that
those?
far from the corner. Gas station. I've always just called them gas stations.
Okay, I call it a convenience store.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess that makes sense, too. But how do you know if there's gas at a convenience store? You know what I mean? Because some convenience stores don't have gas pumps.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, boom, I just blew your fucking mind. All right, I've always been paranoid, so I turned off my music and kept the buds in and started to text my friend that lived nearby, but drove home because of her mom. Me, thinking I was exaggerating about the guy, I texted her, telling her, I'm walking and I saw some guy, what if he follows me home? And she said, careful, remember, and then in parentheses, insert other friend's name for privacy. We'll go with Lee. I like to toss in the name Lee. Remember Lee's boyfriend got stabbed while walking home? Holy shit, man. That's terrifying. Also, shout out to Remember Me. I love that song. So, yeah. You text your friend, hey, there's someone that might be following me. And they're like, you remember someone got stabbed walking home? Terrifying. I instantly got a bit worried. I don't know how you wouldn't. Also, I said that to her because I make weird jokes like that. No need to think too much of it. We just watch way too many horror movies and make jokes about them, which we probably shouldn't.
I was going to say, yeah, a lot of people get desensitized to the whole idea of getting murdered and all that stuff because we watch so much, like, Forensic Files and just all these
or listen to My Favorite Murder, or just watching the news. There's always something horrible happening that you have to, like, process in a certain way. So, okay. Anyway, I got scared, so I slowed my walking and I heard steps. I know my steps, and those weren't it. I was close to my house, so I acted normal and texted my mom to wait for me outside. Aside from being scared, I was about to pee myself.
I would too.
I was walking up the corner to my house, and I saw my mom. I walked to my house quickly, and my mom had this scared look on her face. She told me to hurry in.
Oh my gosh, is there really someone there?
As I'm near my door, I turn and see nothing, but she tells me some guy was behind. And as I was crossing the street to my house, he stopped at the corner, watched me, and then instantly turned back. Since then,
God.
I do still walk home, but less than I used to, and I do take the short way and always walk with someone. Be safe, everyone. Don't walk to your house alone and in the night. Thank you for reading. Stay safe. If you guys like my story, then I might send my other experiences that are actually paranormal. I like how you're holding your paranormal stories hostage.
Right?
To make sure we liked this one. I'm sincerely happy that you're okay, because that is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, and it's something that everyone should make sure that they do, is just be safe and think about your surroundings. And even if you are in an emo mood, just make sure it's where you're not thinking like, well, if I get kidnapped or murdered, I don't even care, you know?
Yeah, don't be that person. I will say I am very impressed at your precautionary measures. Texting your friends that they knew immediately, you know?
Yeah.
Texting your mom, like, stay outside and wait for me to come home. That way you have, like, a second set of eyes watching over you. And, like, I know we talk about them a lot. The thing that I like the most about My Favorite Murder Podcast is fuck politeness. You know what I mean? Like, if you feel like someone's creeping on you, you don't have to stop. You can turn around and just be rude. You know what I mean? If it's your friend, then you're like, oh, okay, no big deal. But if it's a stranger that's following too close,
like,
or
stop
speeding
following
up,
me.
Be like, what the fuck is your problem? You know?
Well, sometimes, though, you don't want to just be like, what is your problem? Like, I don't know, get confrontational with them when it's unnecessary. But if they're, like, heckling you and bothering you and... or they say like, hey, get in the car. Don't be like, oh, okay, I guess I'll get in the car.
Oh, never get in the car.
But you don't have to start a fight with them just to start a fight with them.
Yeah, and I like all the things that you did with your phone. Having your phone in your hand is always great to contact other people. And if you really are that nervous, I always think that there's nothing wrong with calling 911 and telling the operator like, hey, someone's following me. I'm really scared right now, because they're going to start asking you questions. And there's nothing wrong with being like, oh, they turned away. I'm fine now. You know, they might tell you like, you know, I'm glad you're safe or something like that, but it's just, you know, precautionary measures were taken. You did a really good job, so I'm really happy you shared the story, too, because that shit's really, really creepy. That's like a real level of scary, but if you want to send us your paranormal ones as well, we definitely want to hear them. So thank you for sending that in.
So this next story has the subject of homegrown horrors.
Pretty good stuff.
Pretty straight up, yeah. All right, so hi, Robin and Adam.
Hello.
My name is Leon. I recently started listening to your podcast, and I love it. I'm only on episode 23 of Storytime and 33 of the normal episodes.
Did you notice they're staggered by 10? It's because we didn't start doing Storytime until 10 episodes in.
Yeah.
It's always like, episode 115 is this one. That means episode 125 will be our next topic episode. So I never forget, as long as I can remember one of them.
I was born in Sweden, but live in the Netherlands. Anyhow, off to the story. I'd love to hear this on the podcast. I was in Sweden to visit my dad and his wife at the time. Me and my brother and this kid slept in quite an okay side room. So, was the side room okay?
It sounds like it was pretty okay.
All right. Me and my brother shared a bed, and the other kids slept on the mattress on the floor. It was late in the night when a toy started to play a song, so I woke up in shock because I'm a light sleeper. I looked around me and saw that nobody else woke up, which I thought was weird because the other ones are also light sleepers. I suddenly got a very warm and welcoming feeling, and I felt like I was not alone, but in a good way. My grandma, who is a witch, a good witch, said that it probably was my grandpa who sadly passed away many years before that.
Aww.
It was quite soothing to hear that because it was his birthday that same night, and me and him share a birthday.
That's pretty awesome.
Kind regards, Leon.
That's a really good story.
Yeah, that's super awesome. It's always nice to have stories where people have these great experiences that provide some type of closure or some type of
warm feeling like
that.
Yeah,
because
it's nice too, because something like that could obviously just terrify someone.
Right.
You know, just absolutely terrify them. But when you feel like a sense of peace or being at ease or like you're being accompanied by someone, it's kind of funny because we've talked about it before, but some people just make you feel at home. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to say a word. You can just hang out and feel totally comfortable, and like, it has nothing to do with anything they say. It's just the fact that they're near you.
Yeah.
Where you're like, cool, I'm just going to chill with this person. Like, I feel good about this. And it's kind of cool to think that maybe even like after someone passes away, if they're there, you still get that sense. So it's really cool. Thank you for sending that in, Leon. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
So before we move into our next story, we are going to take a really quick commercial break. And we're back. All right, so before I get into my next story, I do want to mention that we had what is called a watch party at twitch.tv/scarishpodcast on Saturday at noon. So what happened was Twitch reached out to us and they said, hey, we're going to start this new thing. It's a watch party built into your show. So we sat down and got everything set up. We said we were going to watch whatever movie it was that we watched, The Woman in Black with Daniel Radcliffe. Some folks showed up, and as we kicked it off, I will say that it worked out fairly well. Everyone can listen to the movie at their own volume. You can set up whether or not you want subtitles on your own thing. It doesn't have to be based off of what we do, and we can all just watch it at the same time. It isn't a beta, so it was a little bit annoying because a few people like fell behind or got ahead on timing, so we were all reacting at different times. What is something you should know if you're interested in doing this in the future, and definitely not something that is supported by us, is the fact that you have to have Amazon Prime in order to join the watch party, because whatever movie or television series you're watching during it comes off of Amazon Prime. So we had some folks show up that actually couldn't watch, which was disappointing, and I do hope that in the future there's different options for what you can watch.
Or if you can put ads in there so people can watch.
Something like that, yeah. But it is in beta, so usually on Saturdays, if we do stream, it's us streaming video games. We are going to take a break. There's 2 more movies that are on the list, because the list only has like 90 things right now, and most of them are television series. But Friday the 13th, the original Friday the 13th is on that list, and I Am Legend is on that list as well. So we are going to do a watch party for those going forward. It won't be this Saturday, the day after this episode comes out. We are going to be streaming Silent Hill 2, and most likely finishing it, because we're like right at the end of that. It just depends on how bad we do. So if you want to join us Saturday at noon Pacific Standard Time, which is 2 Central and 3 Eastern.
Are we playing
Silent Hill 2, yes. So we hope to see you there, and then maybe next Saturday we'll wind up watching either I Am Legend or Friday the 13th. We're going to let patrons pick which movie we watch. So fun stuff. We might actually just put that one on Facebook. We've had a lot of patron polls lately that were patron exclusive, so who knows. But I think we're actually going to put it in Facebook. So go to facebook.com/scarishpodcast. We'll put it in the Spooky Friends group, so click on groups and just join in there, and you folks can join. And that'll also give folks who don't listen to the episodes, like the day they come out, notification like way early. That's what we're going to do. So cool. I think that sounds right. That said, I'm going to go ahead and get into my second email of the show. And this one's subject is, you can share on the pod, which is pretty straightforward, and we definitely appreciate it. It starts out like this. Hello there.
Hello there.
In parentheses, it says, insert Obi-Wan Kenobi voice here. I didn't quite nail the Obi-Wan Kenobi voice, but...
To me, when someone says hello there, I think of Hot Fuzz when... What's his name? What is his name? Sean. His name's not Sean. The actor.
Sean Bean.
Simon Pegg. Simon Pegg is talking to Cate Blanchett, and she's telling him like she's seeing someone else, and then the guy goes, hello there, with his little brush. Because they're in the middle of the crime scene. He just goes, hello
I would never date someone like so-and-so. I'm dating so-and-so. Hello there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. All right. We've gotten past the first 2 words in this email.
Okay, sorry.
I don't know if you have ever heard of the book The Passerby, but I have some creepy stuff to tell you about it. This is a murder mystery set in good old Indiana.
Wow.
I meant to spell it that way, by the way. LOL. The book was written by Thomas Ray Crowell, C-R-O-W-E-L, and released in 2008. Here's what it says about the book when you Google it. Quote, inspired by true events, The Passerby has all the twists and turns of a cold case murder investigation, but with an entirely unique and powerful ending. Penn County, Indiana, 1986, 11-year-old Trudy Bryce, is strangled to death in her home 2 weeks before Christmas. The crime goes unsolved. The email continues, not quoting something. It says, this was 1986 in Argos, Indiana, and my mom grew up literally within a few miles of the place.
What?
She lived out in the sticks with her parents and siblings. My mom is one of the older siblings of 7 altogether.
You know what's funny about the phrase in the sticks is I'd never heard that phrase until I met you. and you are also from Indiana.
It's true.
So it totally makes sense to me that they would use that phrase too.
In the sticks.
Yeah, because I'd never heard of that before.
I've said a lot of phrases that Robin's never heard before. I said one in the last episode that came out today. Oh, what the hell was it?
You said something about a ghost.
Yeah, give up the ghost, which I edited out because she was like, "What does that mean?" And I got the definition wrong, so I was like, "I'm taking this out. I want some fucking dumb."
Really?
Oh yeah,
What's
totally.
the definition?
It means to die.
Oh my god.
So hence, give up the ghost, like let the spirit out, whatever.
Oh Lord. Okay.
All right. So the mom is the oldest, one of the older of 7 siblings. She was at home with her older sister Debbie while my grandparents took their kids to a school Christmas program. This will come up later.
Okay.
This is set probably just a couple days to a week after the murder, and because my mom grew up in the area, she knows all the real names of the characters.
Shut up.
I won't be using any of them other than the young girl who was murdered because her family is still looking for justice. Trudy Bryce is actually Brandy Peltz, an 11-year-old girl who was strangled to death in her bathtub at home, while I believe her parents were also at the Christmas program.
Okay, so they left their 11-year-old at home while they went to go watch...
I don't know the circumstances of the murder. She might have had a babysitter and she was taking a bath on her own.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll have to look into it.
Then the babysitter did it.
Wow. Okay. Continues. Anyway, this story was narrowed down and there was a teacher from Triton Schools in Bourbon, Indiana. Pause. My cousin used to work for a brewery called Triton Brewery that I'm pretty sure was either from or inspired by Bourbon, Indiana, or folks that were from Bourbon, Indiana. So that's kind of crazy. He was suspected from the beginning, referring to this teacher. But, not my cousin, but my mom has another theory. Mom had a stalker in 1986. He happened to be one of the police officers in the area.
Shut the front door.
He would drive up and down the street where my mom lived, revving his engine, and would call the house a million times, and it happened on several occasions.
How is he a police officer?
I don't know. She had to have people come stay with her many times because she was 20 years old and scared. This particular time, my no bullshit Aunt Debbie told the cop to fuck off or they would report him, which they did later that day. He was in the area, within the area of the Peltz family's house, and Brandy was home alone. I don't know if the cop had a connection to the Peltz family other than living in a small town where everybody knows each other, and I'm trying to get more information from my mom and her siblings who remember this. I know the case may not ever truly be solved, but my mom, her family, and several other people who remember this all happening think the author of the book suspected the wrong guy. The murder was never solved. The teacher died 2 years ago, and as far as we know, the cop lives in Kokomo, Indiana now. There's a podcast called Cold Case Chronicles. I've heard of that.
Yeah.
They have 6 episodes dedicated to Brandy Peltz and this book. Well, that's it for the True Crime Corner with Gracie.
Awesome.
And they signed off SSDGM, which is stay sexy, don't get murdered. And then in parentheses it says, yes, I know this is scary-ish, LMAO. LMAO stands for laugh my ass off. Bye, guys. And then at the end of it, because clearly they're typing this up trying to collect the facts, at the end of this email, in all bold it says, update from my mom, which is just how I read it.
Okay.
Question. How far did you live from the Peltz family? Answer, about 4 miles, going towards Argos.
Not far at all.
From Mentone. It was the last house on the curve. It was the White House on the right. Question, do you know of any connections the cop would have had with Brandy or her family? Answer, it was rumored that Brandy's mom was having an affair with some other deputies. The mother probably knew something, but would never interview with anyone other than investigators. Never interviewed with any news. And that's how the email ends. Holy shitballs.
What
that was a
French
super,
toast.
super intense email.
But it's so good.
Yeah, that's fucking...
I love true crime.
Yeah, it was really good.
I love true crime. Okay, I don't love true crime.
We don't love that crime has happened.
No,
we're just fascinated by the stories.
Absolutely fascinated by it. It's absolutely interesting, and the minds of these people is absolutely crazy.
It's crazy when you listen to true crime or you go through a bunch of stuff and you see folks that do things because they're crimes of passion or crimes of opportunity, and then you start doing, like, I shouldn't say doing, but you start like listening to or learning about people who are like calculated and just cold. You know what I mean? And this definitely sounds like a crime of passion, but who knows? The fact that it's unsolved and it happened almost 40 years ago, 35 years ago is truly, truly sad. And I think I'm going to look up a little bit more on this and maybe check out Cold Case Chronicles. I try not to overlap with content that's too similar to ours.
Right.
But if they've already dedicated 6 episodes to it, then it's kind of worth looking into. So thank you so much for sending that in.
You.
We really appreciate it. So as we're reading this story, we look over into our stream chat because we do these stories live. And we have someone in the chat right now, and it's the person who sent this email. And they said, this is my story. The case was reopened and they're investigating the cop.
Holy cow. That's just,
That's
oh man.
That's nuts. We're going to need to follow this one a little bit closer and see what winds up happening with it. But thank you so much for sending that in.
So this next email that we're about to read
final email of the show
is from Sarah. And the subject is, okay, read on the pod. And it's titled The Ring. Not the one you're thinking of.
Wow.
Dang it. So it goes. Hi, Robin and Adam.
Hello.
Hello. For this past Christmas, our family purchased a Ring doorbell. The Ring. See what I did there?
Ah, there you go. That's pretty good. Not gonna lie.
It's been awesome, and we have loved it since December. However, over the last 2 weeks, it's been going off and notifying us of movement at our front door 1 to 3 times a night between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. No, that is
terrifying.
No, that's awful.
There's two.
Oh
okay, there's three options here. One, there's nothing there. It's just malfunctioning. 2, there is something there, and they're messing with you. Or 3, there's ghosts.
There was a thing. I want to say it was like 2 years ago or something. But a girl was going around.
Oh yeah.
And ringing people's video doorbells to try and get
help.
And
no one ever found her.
No one ever. Oh my gosh, it's absolutely insane. All right, so the first few times I convinced myself it must have been a coyote, a raccoon, a possum, some kind of animal that their Ring could see and I can't. But when I rewatch the video clips, everything is still and nothing moves. Nothing. Usually I depend on the Omen baby, Archie Poo, who is an absolutely adorable dog, to alert of something off. But he is inconsistent and a total chicken. Last night, the hubby and I were up at 12:15 because sheltering in place for COVID-19 has screwed with our sleep schedule and the Ring went off. We're not like sleeping till 5 a.m., so I totally get you there. Our
sleep schedule is 4 to 5 a.m. We wake up between 10 and noon. Sometimes Robin sleeps until 2. So she'll stay up later than I do.
I slept until 1 today, I think.
The only thing I have to say for myself is I haven't seen the sun come up yet. So
I have.
Fuck.
All right. So we were in the kitchen prepping to make kimchi fried rice for the next morning's breakfast. That is amazing. Send us your recipe. I'd like to know.
Wow.
Told you our schedules were off and both stopped, locked eyes, and bolted to the front door. The hubby threw it open and wide-eyed looked around and searched. I ran to our front window to look, trying to see what set it off. We stayed that way for a good 3 minutes, searched the porch and street, nothing was there. A little spooked, we went back to the kimchi fried rice prepping and told ourselves it must have been an animal. I jokingly said, maybe our porch is haunted? The hubby got all annoyed and said, don't say crap like that. You know I can't deal with this late at night.
Wow.
As soon as he said that, we heard movement in the kitchen with us. Oh, it's because you opened the door and let it in.
Yeah.
I freaked out.
It could just be an invisible man.
Oh my gosh, I need to watch that movie.
We do need to watch the new one with Elizabeth Moss and the guy who played the little kid. No, the guy who he's not a little kid, obviously, but the guy who played the drug addict brother in Haunting of Hill House is the Invisible Man. So,
I freaked out, ducked, and grabbed the hubby as he tried to figure out what the noise was and where it was coming from in the kitchen. Suddenly, one of our upper cabinets opened by itself, and then a pack of marshmallows that I had just put in there, but not far enough in there, fell out. The bag hadn't quite been put away right, so it had been slipping the entire time we were looking outside, and fell at just the right moment to scare the hell out of us. Or so you tell yourself.
Maybe this ghost or invisible man just really wants s'mores.
Who doesn't? I love
Doesn't matter
s'mores.
what time it is. I want a s'more.
After our hearts slowed to normal, I laughed till I cried. Took the hubby a few moments to join in, but then he turned serious and said, that still doesn't explain why the ring went up. While ending the story there would make for some great suspense, it wouldn't be fair to let you all think my porch is haunted when it's absolutely not. We researched the ring and found out it's a device health check. The device randomly completes a health check if there's an issue with the Wi-Fi connection, any camera issues, battery issues, etc. Confirming neither my porch or my kitchen are haunted, only that I'm too short to put things away in upper cabinets
That's
properly.
Hilarious.
And the ring has some timing issues with its self-maintenance. It made me
Especially
laugh.
running in the middle of the night. Why would it do that diagnostic where it's going to wake you up?
It made me laugh and thought you'd enjoy it too. Thanks, Spooky Mom, for making this readable, and thank you both for being dedicated and bringing wonderful, entertaining content to the Spoopy Friends group. Love, Sarah. also known as Batsy 1950 on Discord.
Aw, thank you so much for sending
we
that.
were so lucky to be able to have lunch with them when they came out here and go to Disneyland with you guys.
They gave us ears, and I wear them
I
almost
know!
every
We
time I
have
go to
little
Disney. They're
scary-ish-
literally right over there.
Yeah, we have like scary-ish Mickey ears. And yeah, Sarah's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Your whole family's amazing.
And that story is so
And
damn
that
funny.
that story is so freaking funny. Because that's totally something I would do too, where I'd be like, that doesn't make sense, but everything in the world scares me. Like, when the battery exploded in our fire
That's
alarm,
a scary thing, though.
Well, it just made a really loud alarm noise, and I bolted down the stairs just so scared out of my mind.
I mean, today she was cooking breakfast for herself, and I walked up, and I was like...
Okay.
She had said, like, shit. I was like, are you okay? And I said it loudly, and I'm very heavy-footed, so she hears me coming. And I walk up, and I'm standing next to her, I'm like, what happened? And when I said that, like, I legitimately thought she was going to fall down because her knees buckled so hard. And she makes this noise, and I'm sure it's supposed to come out like a... But it comes out like a... And she, like, shrinks, and it, like, has a vibrato to it as she does it.
I had just spilled a buttload of garlic powder into my breakfast. Like, I was making mushroom, spinach, and eggs, and I had just put in garlic powder into my spinach and mushrooms, and I had just woken up, okay? And I was trying to get my breakfast done before I had to get to class at 2:30, and I dumped way too much in there because instead of the side that has the little sprinkling stuff, apparently to me, my brain was like, spoon, that's
Spoon means
sprinkling
sprinkle,
stuff.
right? That's
Damn
funny.
It. So it just like dumped out, and I was like,
She freaked. It's
I
funny.
was so like, oh my god, it was absolutely awful. And then I'm trying to like figure out what I'm supposed to do, so I just start dumping even more spinach and more mushrooms in there.
That's how you fix stuff.
And then Adams comes by while I'm trying to fix this horrible mistake, and I got so scared because I'm like, I hope no one catches me do something so stupid.
And I'm like, what's going on? So it was funny.
Oh man, it was
all right.
awful.
So before we leave you for this evening, Black Canary, who is the person who sent in the email about the true crime, let us know. By the way, I got some stuff in my story wrong. Brandy was homesick from school while her parents were at work, but the Christmas program was that day too. Brandy was strangled, but the house was also set on fire.
What?
My grandma and mom's younger siblings went to the
God.
Christmas program, then went shopping, and on their way home, they saw all the cops and fire department at the house. The podcast that covers the story even interviewed the author, I think in reference to the book, and they explain why he is a piece of shit. Right on. Good to know. It's still something we're definitely going to have to look into because it sounds definitely super interesting. So thank you for giving us that correction live on the air so we can have it live on the show.
Thank you so much.
So thank you to all those folks who sent in their story to be read on this show. We appreciate it. If you have a story you would like to share with us, please email storytime@scarish.com or go to our website, scarish.com, and click on Contact Us. Fill out that form. It comes directly to us. You don't need an email address or any of the social medias. If you would like to reach out to us, please do so. And if you would like your story shared, let us know, and we'd be happy to put it on one of the future episodes. If you want to reach out to us on any of our social medias, though, you can. Facebook.com/ScarishPodcast is our Facebook page. Twitter's @ScarishPod, and Instagram is @ScarishPodcast. Robin, for folks who would like to donate to us monetarily, how can they do so?
So, if you would like to donate to us, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/scaryishpodcast. Those are monthly donations. There's a whole bunch of different tiers you can check out. Right now, we do have a coupon code for our Etsy store. So if you folks join, even for $1, you get that coupon code. We're celebrating Adam's birthday by giving you guys a discount for our Etsy goods. And
we're passing on my gift to you.
Woo, woo, woo. And so if you guys want to check that out, it's a great way to save yourself some money and get early access. And the best part, ad-free episodes. So if you folks want to listen to some ad-free episodes, become a patron. It's great.
You get them early, you get them ad-free. So
and
that's
then
always nice.
If you would like to donate one-time donations to us, coffee, ko-fi.com/scarishpodcast. And all those donations go to helping us upgrade our studio setup and keep this rig rolling. So
Indeed. So one more time, thank you to everyone who watched us live, listened to us recorded, sent in episodes, listens, and has never interacted. We appreciate every single one of you, even the ghost people. I don't remember what we used to call them. I'm pretty sure it was just like ghost folks, but if you've never interacted in any way, shape, or form, but you listen to us regularly, we love you and we thank you. It doesn't even matter. So we appreciate all the support we get, and I think that's just about everything that we have.
Yeah.
So go ahead and sign us out.
keep on creeping on from the safety of wherever you are.
Right on. Bye.